You gave the fans one of the most riveting comebacks in NHL history and any sport history. I don't know anything about a comeback, but they tell me it's very exciting. I never viewed mine as a comeback. I never said.
It is very clear. He is about making Canada the 51st state. That is what he is about.
Canada will never be the 51st state.
Our country's not for sale. It will never be for sale.
There's not a snowball's chance in hell that Canada will ever be the 51st state.
Tonight, and we look forward to the United States beating our soon-to-be 51st state, Canada.
Connor McDavid scores! Connor McDavid for Canada!
Donald Trump, love him or hate him, the man knows how to dominate headlines. From his early days as a brash real estate mogul to his time in the White House, he's made a career out of big deals and even bigger statements. Now, as he returned to power, one of his most outlandish ideas is making waves. Turning Canada into the 51st state sounds ridiculous? Maybe. But let's break it down. The United States is on fire, figuratively, and in some places, literally. The southern border is seeing record-breaking illegal crossings, with over a million undocumented migrants entering in just 3 years. More than 2 million have deportation orders, but remain in limbo. Cities like New York and Chicago are struggling with surging migrant populations, while the economic gap between the rich and poor continues to widen. And let's not forget the Tren de Aragua, a Venezuelan gang spreading its influence across the U.S., taking over streets, and adding to the growing crime crisis. Yet amid all this chaos, Trump and his allies see Canada stable, resource-rich, and still relatively orderly. A nation with universal health care, strict gun laws, and a reputation for social safety nets. While America grapples with social unrest and political divisions, Canada remains a beacon of compassion and stability, a welfare state that actually functions. So, why not absorb it? That's the logic some are pushing. The economic disparities between the two countries have long been a talking point. Canada may be smaller in population, but it boasts some of the world's largest reserves of oil, fresh water, and minerals, resources the U.S. would love to tap into, not to mention Canada's more measured immigration policies that have avoided the kind of border crises seen in Texas and California. Trump's approach to geopolitics has always been transactional. His tariff wars with China, Mexico, and even Canada during his first term showed that he views allies not as partners, but as competitors. The idea of buying Greenland was laughed off, but what about leveraging economic pressure to make Canada more dependent on the U.S.? Imagine a scenario where Trump slaps new tariffs on Canadian exports, making life difficult enough that Ottawa has no choice but to negotiate a deeper integration. Maybe not statehood, but something close. Of course, Canada isn't about to roll over. The majority of Canadians hold strong nationalist views and wouldn't accept losing sovereignty, especially to a U.S. in decline. But let's be real, if economic pressure mounts, if the U.S. dangles special status like Puerto Rico but with more perks, could there be a faction willing to listen? In the end, this whole 51st state discussion is more of a political stunt than a realistic policy. But it highlights a fundamental truth: America is in chaos, and rather than fix its problems, it's looking at its stable neighbor with a mix of envy and opportunism. Canada may not be perfect, but it's far from the broken mess the U.S. has become. Canada doesn't need to be the U.S., it just needs to be Canada.